Hello and welcome to the Botcast Football Show, a Bristol United podcast. My name is James, and once again this week I'm joined by first team manager John Gilbertson. John, how are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, thank you, James.
Good, that's good to hear. Now, before we get into the football action and everything else, let's do our mental health and well-being check. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you?
A good nine today.
Yeah.
Coming up towards the end of the week, and I suppose it's the month of Christmas. So yeah, good nine. How about you, James?
Thanks for asking. I'm probably about a 9 as well. I'm feeling in a really good mood today. I've had some Christmas tunes on as well, like you said, and it does put you in a good mood, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
I haven't started any Christmas shopping yet, so that's not putting me in a good mood. But I don't know what to get everybody though. It's just so difficult because what do you get people when they don't really need anything? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and I hate buying stuff just for the sake of buying stuff. So but anyway, that's by the by. I'm about a 9, and this podcast isn't about Christmas shopping. It's about football. So on that note, let's start, because obviously we didn't do a podcast last week, which if anybody's listening, that was my decision to take a week off from doing a podcast. So if you missed a podcast, I do apologise, but we are back now. And last Saturday, which was the 2nd of December, Bristol United played at home against Hengrove 88 FC.
Yeah.
John, tell us about the game. Obviously 3-2 win, in not the best conditions.
No, I mean we was on the 4G, so that certainly sort of the playing conditions was okay on the 4G. Although there was a load of sort of mist and fog, which again, especially from on the sideline, wasn't great conditions to play in. But I mean, it wasn't enough to stop the game. But
No.
yeah, and that actual game itself, I mean, we knew it was going to always be a tough game against Engram. We played them already in the season, and we knew what we was in for. And I mean, it was a cracking game, to be honest with you. We started the game so brightly the first 5-10 minutes, and I thought this is going to be a very good day for us.
Yeah.
Took the lead from a corner. A deep delivery. Josh Cleveley did fantastically, heading the ball back across from a deep aerial, and Callum, our captain, Callum Rowan, scored his 6th goal of the season. And I thought this is fantastic. Sort of 10, 12 minutes in, and we was knocking the ball around, looking really, really good. And then, to this minute, I don't really know what happened, and I can't put my finger on it. We suddenly went 1-0 up, and we didn't take our eye off the ball or sort of drop levels in commitment or anything like that. But for the next sort of 25 minutes or so, we just lost our way in the game and started taking a few heavy touches, a few mispaced passes, and that gave the impetus then to Engrove. They equalised. We just switched off at the back, and they equalised, and then they went 2-1 up. And I've gone from sort of being sort of comfortable, thinking this is going to be a fantastic day, to 2-1 down, and thinking, my God, what's going on? And I did. If anybody knows me, I mean, like, I don't say a lot to my players. I do when it's needed, and I'm not frightened of giving then. But yeah, I felt it was needed. A few sort of choice words were said to my team during the first half, and then at half time, again, we got into them. But just before half time, we nicked an equaliser, which was against the run of play, to be honest with you. It's a Tom Blake free.
Hi, sorry about that. There was a bit of a technical issue there. So John's back with us now. John, so you were just saying about Hengrove sort of taking the impetus and going 2-1 up, and you were sort of starting to wonder whether it was going to be a bad day at the office for you.
Yeah, the game changed, and we were sort of coming under the cosh a little bit. And like I said, a few choice words was sort of said to my team. And I don't go on at my team that much, but when it was needed, and it was certainly needed Saturday, I let them know how I felt. And yeah, we just lost our way big time in the first half. And luckily for us, at half time, just before half time, we equalised with from a free kick from Tom Blake, and it was a fortunate goal because their goalie was out of actually the opponent's goalie. He had a very good game. His handling was good and made some good saves, but it was a tame free kick which the goalie sort of squirmed under his body, and we went into half time at 2-2. We're very fortunate to be 2-2. And again, that led to a few sort of choice words at half time because it was unacceptable. The first half, how we started so strongly and ended up so sort of poor, really, and letting a good position slip away from us. So we went out, and all credit to the lads, 2-2 at half time. We went out in the second half, and we controlled the second half and was the better side in the second half. And at one point, I thought this is probably going to peter out to sort of a 2-2 draw.
Mm.
But Billy Gilbertson popped up and scored the winner for us for a 3-2 victory. Overall, I think we slightly edged it and deserved the 3 points. But at the same time, a 2-2, you couldn't moan too much with a 2-2 draw because Engrove, even though we controlled the second half, they're a tough, dangerous side themselves. And we didn't dominate the second half. We controlled it, but we didn't dominate. And yeah, like even the opposition manager sort of said if he think we deserved to win, but it was a close game, a cracking game, but a close game.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I didn't watch the whole game just purely because the video didn't really lend itself with the conditions to watching the whole
Yeah,
game. But I watched the
yeah,
highlights this morning, and I mean, what was it, 15 minutes of highlights on YouTube,
yeah,
and it was a very entertaining 15 minutes of highlights as well. Like you said, I thought one or two of the goals maybe the goalkeepers should have done better, but
yeah,
like I said, given the conditions and everything, it is what it is. I thought their second goal, the ball in for their second goal was a cracking ball in by I think it was their
yeah,
right back, but
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
but
Great
again,
ball, right?
another good performance by Bristol United, and you must be quite happy with the way things are going at the moment.
Yeah. We've had quite a bit of a turnaround, haven't we? The last sort of 6 weeks, 7 weeks or so, and it's we're starting to move up the table now, sort of back and looking upwards to what we our plan was to start the season to be in a position where you think we're going to be challenging for promotion this year. And I mean, it's an incredibly long way to go, and I'm experienced man in football, and I know as much as it's changed to our fortunes has changed for a positive, it could equally change for a negative if we don't keep doing the right things and working hard and playing the way we got to. But we've put ourselves in a position now coming up to Christmas where we're we're in the mix, and it gives us a good chance to, like I said, with a lot of games to go, to be in that mix for promotion. But I said six games ago, I mean, it was looking like no chance, and if anything, we could have been battling at the bottom of the table. But
Yeah, I mean, it
um,
just goes to show what a couple of good results can do for sort of morale as well, doesn't it? And
yeah, absolutely.
the spirit. And I mean, I was looking at the table this morning. He's seventh in the league at the moment, on 16 points,
Yeah,
after 9 games, and I think top of the league on 22 points. But even between seventh and first, there's a couple of teams that have played a couple more games than you, a game or two more than you. So
yeah,
I think it's looking, like you said, it's looking a lot more positive, isn't it? So
yeah,
so
definitely.
it's all good. And sort of this weekend, we were just chatting about this before we start recording. Away at Redfield Rovers, originally was going to be played at the Oasis Academy, which I think I know it, and a lot of people know it as Brislington School.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's not being played there now. You told me before before we
yeah.
started. So do you just want to update everybody where it's going to be played?
Yeah, so weather permitting, of course, because I know we've had a lot of rain and there's a lot more rain forecast. We're going to be playing at the Neffin Park playing fields, which is, again, it's not too far to sort of travel. But
No.
the biggest change is, as we know, it Brislington School, it would have been on 4G, which means the game goes ahead. Now we're on grass. So who knows what the next 24, 48 hours is going to bring with the weather and being a council pitch, because I think there are council pitches down there. Yeah, we're in the hands of the gods whether the game goes ahead Saturday. But I mean, it's this time of year is what happens, isn't it? We just got to roll with the punches and act accordingly.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not the biggest advocate of the 4G pitches, but you can totally understand why more and more clubs are sort of investing in them and getting them, because it's an annual thing, isn't it? The weather is always rubbish for a couple of months, so you can understand why clubs are getting them to get their games on. So but that would be a tough game as well on Saturday if it goes ahead, which hopefully it does. But that'd be 7th against 10th. I've got to be honest, I don't know anything really about Redfield Rovers, but having said that, the one thing I did think when you said about it being played at the Netham, it does make sense because that's in Redfield.
Yeah.
So I would imagine I would have thought, and I don't know, but I would have thought that would make sense. Be their, just judging on their name, be their home ground all the time. But
yeah, you would think. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened and why.
No, there's obviously a reason for it, but that's not for us to speculate on, is it? But and in terms of the club, John, Bristol United, in terms of what's been going on, obviously, I think the last time we spoke, I think you just done the 8-hour charity match.
That's correct. Yeah,
it was a great effort by everybody involved. I watched a bit of it on YouTube, and I got tired just watching. So, how you all felt after 8 hours of playing? Well, tell me. I did everybody feel after 8 hours of playing?
I don't think there are words for some people. Myself, I mean, I thought, well, perhaps I might get through a good sort of 2 hours. Yeah. I think I was near the sort of 4.5 hours about that time. It wasn't my plan, but as the lads, I mean, at one point they're saying like, we need a break. So I never had much sort of choice really. I was planning the 2 good sessions, and I ended up doing four lots. But I mean, Billy, just to deliver as well, Billy Gilbertson, who was giving it the big one, which we talked about on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
He did manage to play the full 8 hours without a break.
Without a break.
Without a break, although there's an asterisk to that, because he played, but he dropped back in goal quite a few times. So technically he played. Is it the same as playing outfield, being a goalie? I'll leave that up to people to make their mind up. But he was on the pitch for 8 hours.
It still takes some doing. And fair play to him. It takes some doing.
Yeah, and a lot of the lads, they done quite a high amount of hours on that pitch in Sam Morgan. I mean, he played a hell of a lot more than I expected. Sam's sort of 33 and had some bad injuries. Nathan Popel, who we know as Bolts, was still sprinting around. He was quite a few hours deep. So credit to the lads, because it was tough. And the last hour and a half, 2 hours, it started raining. It was cold. Myself, I've never known pain like that in my life. That evening and the day after and the day after and the day after again.
Oh, really?
I think I could have played another 20 hours. It wouldn't have made any difference to my body. I can't imagine being in any more pain than I was in. So, it was a great day. I mean, we've raised lots of money for the Alzheimer's Society. So it was well worth it. Fantastic day. Loads of money raised for a great cause. Yeah. We all had a good time as well. It was hard playing, but we had the sort of tents, gazebos up, and hot food, hot drinks, and food being delivered. So it was a good day, and a lot of supporters there cheering us on, which just surprised me, because I thought it wasn't a very nice day. But again, that's credit to friends, family, supporters, which they come and they're with us through thick and thin. So credit to those guys as well.
Yeah, 100%, and well done to everybody as well, because it's a hell of an effort as well, you know. So, and congratulations on raising a great amount of money for the charity, which I'm sure will be very much appreciated. And I suppose now you're sort of looking ahead to next year for more charity events, but obviously that's to discuss in another time. But
yeah.
But no, I know it's something that the club are big on, so raising money for charity and stuff. So well done. Have you got anything planned? Like, not a charity event, but have you and the boys got anything planned for Christmas, night out or anything?
Well, we actually got our annual Christmas do football party next Friday. So a week tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's a big event, and we sort of expect around about sort of 80 to 100 people there. So it's all the players, all their families and stuff like that.
Nice.
And we do one at the end of the season to get together. But this is our first big Christmas event. And we got lots planned. We got some fantastic, which I don't want to give away because
No.
there's quite a few surprises on the night, but a huge event.
Is there going to be a big man with a beard and a red suit, or is he
there
good?
there may be that time of year somebody, if we've all been good boys, and I'm sure my lads have been incredibly good boys this year, then they may get a visit from a certain someone. But
Yeah, nice.
yeah, so that's the big Christmas event, and we've been working on this for about a good 3 months now, and it's going to be it's not just a get together. It's going to be a fantastic Christmas event with a lot of time and money invested on this one to make it a great evening for everybody.
Happy days, but not too much drinks. You got a game the day after.
We got a game after, so everybody can have a drink and celebrate the festive, but except the players. There's a pint and.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, John. You said just 1 pint for the players, is it?
Yeah, 1 pint and then orange juice. They got been ready and switched on and firing for the game the day after. So yeah.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I'll be watching them.
That's good. And then obviously, just on that note about the game after, there's a game on. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but there's a game on the 16th and the 23rd. You're at home both those weeks, aren't you? So so that's a good way to go into Christmas, and then a little break for Christmas going into the new year then. So all good. I noticed one other thing this week on Twitter. You've got I don't know a lot about it, so I'm going to ask you about it because I know nothing about it, to be honest with you. The Twitch gaming stream.
Yeah, so this is something a little bit sort of different than what we're sort of doing. So obviously, as anybody who follow us, they know that we have a big sort of social media presence, and we have our channels with all our football and training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it isn't really sort of too much to do with me. It was more sort of Sam and a few of the lads. They play PS5, which I do myself, and it was just an ideal to sort of make a second channel, where some of the players will stream their gaming events, whatever it is they play, their games and stuff. So that was sort of launched this week, and there's 4 or 5 people, which I think it's like sort of there's Billy, Josh, Dan, Sam, Tom, George, Jack Cousins. So they're all on there and doing their thing on our second channel. So it's a watch this space to anybody who's into gaming. I seen them last night, and I know they're streaming a lot with Fortnite, which is a game I can't get my head around why adults play, because it looks like a cartoon sort of under 5 years of age game.
Yeah.
But I know it's a big game. So for anybody who wants to sort of watch live streams or videos, whatever it is they're doing, and what games they're doing, do check it out. It's called Bristol United Gaming. And it's right at the beginning, so things might not be sort of as busy as our main channel with football, but I'm sure, like everything we seem to do, that'll ramp up over the coming weeks and months. And yeah, and then I sort of get to hear little bits because obviously I can hear them streaming, and I know there's a lot of laughs and fun and Mickey taking going on there. So it's if you're into that, yeah, definitely head to Bristol United Gaming and check it out.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, John. It's a completely different world. I know nothing about it whatsoever, you know. But I haven't got a PS5. I got a Switch which I play FIFA on, or EAFC as it's now known. But having said that, whilst it doesn't appeal to me, it appeals to millions of people. And I think the gaming industry is one of the biggest industries out there now. So hopefully you'll get a lot of people sort of learn about the club through it. So
no doubt.
I don't think it'd do any harm whatsoever. You know, definitely not. And also you did a Ask the Gaffer Q&A the other week, which I did watch.
Yeah, so it was just an ideal. I mean, and you'll see this probably over well, ongoing future where we would sometimes we try things, we try different things, and some take off, some not so much. So, and
Yeah.
it was something we were sort of an ideal we were kicking around with, just to say, look, actually we'll go live now because we can go live. We've got the sort of equipment to do that, and
Yeah.
why not try it with a very basic one of where you had me for half hour and it was a sort of no old bards ask the gaffer questions, and I wasn't prepped. I didn't know what questions was going to be asked, and yeah, and I think for a first episode, I think it was quite successful actually. I think it took us all a bit of a by surprise because I thought it might be a little bit quiet, but yeah, it was. I think it sort of went down well with people where they could ask some football questions and ask some very silly questions. Is no doubt you would have saw, but and again, it's sort of that's going to be picked up with. It won't be just me ask the gaffer because there's only so many questions you can ask me, but we will
Yeah.
be doing other things with the sort of ask the players where the captain might be on, a centre half might be on, a striker, the assistant manager Ash or Sam. So that'll be picked up from time to time of half-hour episodes of where, yeah, it's a bit of a funny half hour to fire questions at us. And yeah, I've got a bit of stick for a few of my comments in there when obviously I was comparing myself to Xavi and Iniesta and stuff like that. Just for anybody without a sense of humour, that was a bit tongue in cheek. I
Was
was a
it,
good
John? Was
player,
it?
but
Was it?
yeah, I was. Well, I even me like I was a good player, but I would admit I was quite. I was not quite on Iniesta or Xavi's level. So yeah. So, but it was that is it wasn't a serious thing. It's
I mean, the
like
only thing I
yes,
will say is I think it was the first question that was sort of mentioned, or one of the first questions. I still think David Beckham was underrated, and I know you brought him up for 7 out of 10, but
yeah.
um,
Well,
yeah,
Ash will love you because Ash is a big David Beckham fanboy. So
no,
he's absolutely in love, and I'm still convinced if David Beckham proposed, Ash would run off with him and leave his family to go and marry David Beckham. But
well,
we
he would have to get in front of me. Let's put it that way. I'm very much of the same opinion as Ash, so that's good to know I'm not the only one.
Well, I was a big, and I'm sure there's a few of us. We're a big fan of Beckham. Was he a world class player? Well, I don't know in terms up to some of them, but even if we was going to score Beckham a 7 or 8 or even it always gets done down because it's worth it to get a reaction out of Ash calling us names and saying we're being disrespectful. So poor David Beckham probably don't get the credit off of us because of Ash.
Yeah, and also I mean I don't know David Beckham personally, unfortunately, but I don't think he's that worried what anybody thinks of him anyway. So um,
Well, you never know. I mean, he could have been looking to getting involved with a club, and we might have shot ourselves in the foot. Now
well,
we might
there
sort of
is that,
our
John.
chances might be gone now of his millions, and
Well,
he's not.
if Bex is listening to this by any chance, then feel free to get in touch with the club. Yeah.
Come get in touch, and if I'll try my best, I can't promise. I'll see if I can get you half hour as a substitute appearance now and then. I don't know what levels he's at nowadays, but
I'm
yeah,
regardless of what level he's at, Johnny, will get a crowd there when he has to.
absolutely.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you, I could have asked you on the Ask the Questions, to be honest, but I didn't think about it. So, because I'm really sad, I was looking through some more stuff on Bristol United last week,
Hmm.
and I noticed there was a different badge when the club started.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
So
asked you this before, and I don't think I have, but is there a reason why the club badge changed?
yeah, so when we initially formed as Bristol United, I mean, we had a few things with sort of people putting in sort of suggestions and stuff, and it just so happened that one of the players sort of went away and created a badge for us. And at that time, with the million and one jobs we had around with sort of creating a club,
Yeah.
the badge look was good. It served its purpose and stuff like that, and so we went with that badge.
Right.
Then, obviously, fast forward 12 months, we're sort of looking at the club and doing this and doing that. And it was sort of just a discussion we had. Can we modernise it? One thing I felt, and I think a few others felt that, was it a little bit old fashioned, bog standard kind of badging? Could we make it a more up to date, sort of snazzier badge. So a bit of work went in on designing a new badge for us, really. And we still definitely wasn't going to change, but when we went through, and I think we had about 20 different sort of badges to choose from, and it was a bit of a play around in a mixture, and then we decided a more sort of circular badge would be more up to date, and that's how we come to change. We just felt it was a fresher, more modern badge.
Yeah.
We haven't really to this date got a nickname. So obviously, if we would have been called the Rams or the Eagles is a nickname, it was very easy to put a picture in the middle. But
Yeah.
at that time, we haven't really got an official nickname. So we went with a sort of standard image of a footballer. And I said at the time that there was a few sort of nicknames banded about, but it was just coming up with nicknames for the sake of it. But one, what have stuck with us right from the start is the bots, which was meant it was meant to be like an offensive, calling you an idiot, really, like you're a robot sort of thing, as in it was meant to sort of to be a slant against you.
Right.
And that obviously that stuck around the club and around people around the club. And so if you do something, they say like, you're shut up, you bot.
Right. Yeah.
And so that is sort of stuck with us. And I think it was suggested as our nickname by Sam, the bots, and I immediately pushed it back and I said, no, I don't like that. The bots, it sounds rubbish and childish to me, and I think Ash was along the same lines. But as we've gone on, it is pretty much, and we sign off some of our videos with up the bots. It's our club nickname now, the bots. So
Right, fair enough.
we won't be doing it yet, but I imagine 2 or 3 years time we might have a further redesign of the badge, and the footballer might be replaced with a robot or a bot of some kind. But watch this space. But
Yeah. No.
yeah, that's how easy it sort of it come about, really.
Yeah. I mean, I quite like the badge. I mean, I got my Bristol United hoodie on as we record this. So I'm just looking at the badge now. I think it's quite a nice badge, to be honest. But
Yeah, I liked it. I think it was sort of simple, a bit sleek, sort of modern and simple, not overcomplicated. And yeah,
yeah.
that's how we come to change it. But we won't be changing for quite some time. So all your tops in
It's the
hoodies
way for the time being. Yeah.
is going to be in date for a while. Yeah.
Happy days, mate. Happy days. Right, so just to recap on Saturday, this coming Saturday, which is the 9th of December, which I'm just trying to work out where this year has gone. It's just gone so quick.
Yeah.
But 9th of December, away at Neffin Playing Field, 2:00. Obviously, like you said earlier, John, best to keep an eye on the socials for updates on the games, whether it's on or not. I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things, but at the moment, I would say that a lot of games are going to be off locally. Grass pitches, obviously, on Saturday. But fingers crossed the game goes ahead, because I'd like to come down and watch on Saturday. And I know your opinion is slightly different. Just for this 1 week, your opinion is slightly different. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's I got a bit of a journey to make Friday, so me and the family were actually away. We got a cottage booked for a long weekend, so I'm actually down in Devon for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it will mean me travelling back up travelling down to Devon on the Friday, travelling back Saturday morning for the game, and then travelling straight back down to Devon after the game, and then so it's going to be a bit of a drive and a few hours in a car. So I want the game desperately to go ahead, but if there was ever going to be cancelled, this to be handy for me, this could be the one which I wouldn't moan at like I normally do, but I'm hoping it goes ahead. But
Fair play
I'm
to you,
sure
brother, because if you do that, I mean, that is dedication at the highest level, isn't it? So,
yeah, well, yeah, and I mean that's me all over. I've always been like that as in football. Like it's I've done football as far back as I can remember, and I don't want to say football comes before everything, because it doesn't. But it's you're committed to be there for Bristol United and the team and the lads, and I didn't sort of bat an eyelid or think twice. It was just we'll travel back up and travel back down, and that's it, really.
Well,
I'm sure it's a popular decision amongst a few people in my household, but yeah,
I mean,
what can you do?
I suppose the only thing I will say, John, is why are you booking holidays in the season? I suppose that's the number one question, isn't it?
I know, and that's the thing of trying to do sort of Christmas events as a family and trying to keep all the sort of balls in the air and juggle them. But yeah, so I should be sat in the car singing a few Christmas songs for 4 or 5 hours on Saturday, traveling up and traveling back in total. So,
A
but
lot of
yeah,
Chris Rea, yeah, a lot of driving home for football.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. And as long as we don't come back and get walloped 7-0 and then I have to drive back, yeah,
yeah,
we'll
it
see.
could be a good journey back or a bad journey back, couldn't it? But
Yeah,
fingers crossed. Saturday 2 o'clock kickoff down at Neffin Playing Fields. And then we'll be back next week with another podcast where we will be hopefully looking back at a good game on Saturday and the week ahead. John, thanks for joining me today. When people are listening to this, if there was a couple of technical issues, I do apologise for that. But we will make sure that don't happen, or I will make sure that don't happen in future. Thanks for listening as always. All previous episodes are available on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify and Apple. Also check out the club's social media channels. The content, like we said earlier, the content on YouTube is very good. And like we said earlier, there's a wide range of content to sort of digest. Twitter or X, as we should now call it, but I can't help but call it Twitter. Follow the club on there, on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Like John said earlier, the club is growing all the time, so anybody who can give a like, watch a video, follow on YouTube or whatever, it is all very welcome. John, thanks for joining me, mate. Have a good weekend away. And all being well, I will see you on Saturday, but we will see how that goes.
fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully we will. And whatever game you're off to this week, enjoy the game, look after yourselves, and if your game's off, I suppose you could go Christmas shopping, but who wants to do that, eh? Who wants to do that? But yeah, as always, thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week with another episode. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.